Hi everyone. In this video, we will see what is liberalization, privatization and globalization. The term LPG stands for liberalization, privatization and globalization, representing the three core areas of focus in the Indian government's new economic policy of 1991. The LPG policy was introduced under the leadership of Prime Minister Shri P.V. Narasimha Rao and Prime Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. Liberalization aimed to reduce government control and regulations, while privatization involved transferring ownership of state owned enterprises to the private sector. Globalization focused on expanding economic activities and integrating India with the global economy. Together, these three pillars form the basis of the LPG reforms, marking a significant shift in India's economic policies. It was aimed at making the Indian economy as fastest growing economy and globally competitive. The series of reforms undertaken with respect to industrial sector, trade as well as financial sector aimed at making the economy more efficient. Reasons for implementing LPG. The introduction of LPG in India was prompted by various economic factors and global circumstances. The pre-LPG era was characterized by a state-controlled closed economy with limited private ownership. The following factors contributed to the need for LPG reforms. Reasons for implementing LPG. First, balance of payment crisis. India faced a deficit of foreign currency leading to low foreign exchange reserves and a growing debt burden. Second, underperforming public sector undertakings, that is PSUs. Many PSUs were incurring losses, becoming a financial burden for the government. Third, fiscal deficit and public debt. The government faced with the economic shortfall and substantial public debt posing challenges to financial stability. Fourth, high inflation. Inflation rates soared, necessitating measures to address economic instability and rising prices. Fifth, license Raj. Government restrictions and bureaucratic hurdles delayed business growth and discouraged private enterprises. In addition to these domestic factors, global circumstances also influenced the adoption of LPG. Lessons from the fall of the Soviet Union. The collapse of the Soviet Union highlighted the limitations of a purely socialist approach, prompting India to re-evaluate its economic policies. Second, financial crunch after the 1990 and 91 Iraq War. The disruption of foreign currency inflow due to the Iraq War created a financial crunch, necessitating reforms to address the situation. Collectively, these factors and global events compelled the Indian government to introduce LPG to modernize the economy, attract foreign investment, address fiscal challenges, and align India's economic goals with global trends. Objectives of LPG. The LPG in India were introduced to achieve the following objectives. First, economic transformation. Shift the Indian economy from a Soviet style model to a market economy with reduced government control and increased economic activity. Second, address balance of payment crisis. Resolve the balance of payment shortfall and strengthen India's foreign exchange reserves. Third, promote economic growth. Stimulate economic growth and expansion by integrating Indian businesses into global trade markets. Fourth, facilitate international trade. Enable the flow of goods, services, and capital across international borders, promoting trade and economic exchanges. Fifth, encourage private sector participation. Nurture increased participation of private entities in various sectors of the economy, promoting competition, innovation, and efficiency. The LPG under new economic policy of 1991 introduced measures that opened up the Indian economy and reduced government restrictions. The features of the LPG policy in India can be summarized as follows. Liberalization include deregulation, tariff reduction, market-oriented policies, financial sector reforms, competition promotion, easing of licensing norms, removal of trade barriers, FDI promotion, exchange rate reforms, and intellectual property rights. Privatization include transfer of PSU ownership, disinvestment of PSUs, public-private partnerships, asset monetization, market competition, private sector participation, strategic sales, commercialization of assets, capital market reforms, VRS and employee buyouts. Globalization includes trade liberalization, foreign direct investment, integration into global markets, technology transfer, cross border trade, access to global capital, economic diplomacy, international collaborations, export oriented policies, and global supply chain integration. The LPG reforms in India resulted in several positive outcomes for the economy. The benefits of the LPG policy can be summarized as follows. First, balance of payments improvement, overcoming the balance of payment crisis and reducing reliance on foreign loans. Second, fiscal deficit reduction, privatization of inefficient PSUs leading to reduced government expenditure and losses. Next, economic growth, encouraging competition through reduced government restrictions, promoting private sector participation, and countering state monopolies. Next, global market participation, enabling India's entry into global trade markets and establishing its position as a major developing country. Thank you. Hope this video will be helpful for you. Would like to hear from you. Please provide your comments and subscribe to get updates.